jump straight in. Yep, there you go. It started recording.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the, well, it is the first meeting of Balsall Heath West Ward. Previously, we was put together with Sparkbrook and Balsall Heath East. But before us, I wish to advise residents and speakers that, as Kay said, this meeting is being recorded, and it's an online meeting that a recording will be available for future record via the councillor YouTube channel. If anybody's got any objections, can you please let me know now? Are we all okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Fine with me. Fine with me.
Oh,
Thank you.
great. Oh, I was hoping to get some more people, but I'll say this anyway. Can I please ask everyone who wishes to speak to raise their hands, and you can switch your camera on if you want to when you speak. Otherwise, if you could keep your mics on mute, and I'll be really grateful. The agenda you should have is: one is the police update, second is waste management, and then Kier Highways, and the fourth one is an update from me. And all I will ask is, when we get the police, waste and care, when they've done their spiel, if anybody wants to ask any questions, please raise your hands and we'll continue. So in the absence of the police, can I ask Les Williams from the waste and Mike, if you can come in, please?
Yes, thanks for that, Councillor. Good evening, everybody. Quick update from waste. We've done lots of work recently to secure a bit of small amount of funding, and we're putting that into our street cleansing services. The way that will work out it's across all wards, but we've divvied out the resources across all 4 depots. Redfern, because they've got some of the more challenging areas, have got a bit more resource. It's there currently at the moment, but obviously you've probably heard there's a driver shortage across the country, and we're currently having problems getting drivers. It's not the willingness from the management or the loaders, we're just struggling to get drivers at the moment. So as soon as we get them, they'll be in place and working within the ward. And what that's going to look like is we're going to have some extra dumping crews. So where we've got fly tipping happening, these crews will be going out, picking up the dumping, the fly tipping, and then taking reference, so we know where we're getting regular spots. Part of what else is happening in the street scene at the moment is that we've got some more waste enforcement managers coming in, and these waste enforcements are going to be working hand in hand with us. So if we get a regular dumping spot, we highlight that it's maybe a shop that's dumping on the corner, or we find some evidence, where before we'd give people a warning, we're going to be more working towards now, more harder tasking. So if we catch someone dumping, we'll be looking to fine. We're not going to let people get away with it. So we do encourage people to use our tip or our tips across the city. If you want to use a tip, it's much easier than what it ever was. You just phone up the contact centre and you book an appointment, and they'll give you a time to come. So there's no queuing at tips any longer. It's much easier to do. We're also just about to bring in some sack collection crews, and what this looks like, I'll use Edward Road as an example, Councillor, which you can relate to. We get lots of black bags being put out around the corners down the bottom of Edward Road, where the people above the shops who live there put the bags out. We're putting in place a collection service, and we might come down there once or twice a week rather than just on the collection day to keep that waste down. The longer term is to deal with the residents in the nice way. If they need bins, or if we can put other things in place for them, we're going to be looking to do that. But initially we want to come down and keep the waste down, because probably we can all appreciate if someone lives in a flat above a shop, they don't even got the stories like us that live in houses. So you know, the first thing is to get the waste down and stop the blight on the highway type of thing. But more importantly, then to deal with the residents to help them have wheel bins or other things in place. So that's also coming very soon. And again, the only thing that's stopping us at the moment is drivers. Redfern as well has also been given a dedicated graffiti crew. So the graffiti crew will come along as and when. They'll probably trawl every ward. Probably might be able to add. We might be able to look at a weekly regime where we come around the ward, but we'll be able to react much quicker if we get graffiti. So it will be a call to the contact centre or a number that we've now given to you councillors, that you can call that and we can turn it around within a day. So really good on the graffiti side of it. The other thing that we're trialling as well is it's two things. One is a mobile tip, to put it in the simplest terms. And what this does, they'll come to different areas of the ward, and we will talk to residents, councillors before we come. And what we'll do, we'll come along. We've got some new trucks, and what these do, there's two trucks. The first one, if you've got an old mattress or some bric-a-brac or some stuff that you want to get rid of, and let's say you haven't got a car to go to the tip, we'll take it off you when we're down and visit it, and we'll take it away free of charge, obviously. If you're elderly, disabled, or got a problem getting it to that truck, the guys down there working it will come and help you to get that. What will also be there is a second truck, and it's a recycling truck of a new type. So it's a truck that does all. It'll take your garden waste, it'll take your plastics and bottles, that kind of glass, it'll take cans. It's also got a segment for paper. And what we're trying to do there is to try and encourage people to recycle and to show the benefits of it, etc. So we might pick an area where we might feel there's a problem with low recycling, or we're getting lots of dumping, and we're coming down, you know, we're engaging with people now. And I dare suggest it, we're working on a plan where we might come to the ward once a month, because we've not got lots of resource. But if we can pick a key place once a month where we know there's a problem and go there and tackle it. There is also a group now that's it's sort of at the moment standing aside to waste management, but works with us, and that's called Love Your Streets. So the Love Your Streets initiative it's a group of employees that come along again, and we're looking to try and marry this up with the mobile HRC sites and the recycling vehicles, and we'll come along and we'll do like a sort of an all-out day. So lots of residents want to come and clean up, have a litter pick, etc. We can actually supply the tools now. So, you know, if you need litter pickers, bags, we can work hand in hand with you guys, or the residents, sorry, and we'll come along, we'll do some recycling, we'll pick up a bit of dumping, we'll help people with that bit of bric-a-brac they want to get rid of. And we'll have an all-out day where we have a litter pick. So, you know, we're trying to do that every ward, every month. For the benefits of most wards. Some wards need more than others, and we're going to obviously be cutting our cake up, to use a term, on how we come and do that within Balsall Heath. That's my updates. Mike's come along as well. Mike's the service manager who actually looks after street cleansing service that covers your ward, councillor. And I know you had a walkabout recently, and many of them happen in the future, but Mike's more than happy if we got a problem to take that back and you know, just try and solve the problem. But with all this new resource coming in and these trials we're doing, we do feel that that's going to make a vast improvement in the ward as well. So that's my update. I don't know if you want to add anything, Mike.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Les. One of the other extra resources that has been pumped into street cleansing is a deep cleansing crew. This is in addition to your normal street cleansing, where we have a designated crew that goes around all of our wards that we cover. So they will spend a week in each ward where they'll be digging out the detritus, the weeds, parts around planters, underneath railings, to improve the general tidiness and cleanliness of the area. So that will be coming into your ward in the next 4 to 6 weeks, Councillor. And prior to that happening, I will be emailing you and letting you know the locations where they're going to be working. And the locations that we get is from our LAMS data, where we have a survey take place in the ward and they tell us where the problem areas are, where we're failing for litter, detritus, graffiti. So that's the data and the information that we're going to be using. With regards to the dumping crews, the bad crews, we already know that we've got issues in Edward Road, Alexandra, Mary Street, Jakeman, Cheddar. So we're going to be concentrating on them areas first to try and reduce the amount of dumping in your ward. We will also be conducting bag searches to identify whether the waste is actually coming from trade shops or whether it's domestic, to try and put other resources in place to try and reduce that.
Okay, thanks for that, Mike. So that's where we are, where we're headed, Councillor, and we want to start it last week, shall we say? So our impetus is to get drivers in as much as we can, and I'm taking some steps as we speak to try and get some more drivers, because Redfern Road is in need of them desperately. So that's our update. I don't know if anybody's got any questions. We'd be quite happy to answer them.
Yeah, thank you, Les and Mike. For colleagues who joined once the meeting started, I can see that Mahbub has put something in the chat which says we never seem to get any enforcement action in our area. Just to advise everybody that you can speak. All you got to do, if you wish to speak, just put your hand up and I'll bring you in. You can ask your questions. Or if you feel that you want to use the chat function, then you can do that. But Les and Mike, thank you for that. So you'll be letting me know when these 2 wagons will be coming round.
Yeah, the only thing I would suggest, Councillor, is we want to keep it so it's local within your ward and your residents use it, because it's for them. We won't give you lots of notice because we have a lot of people that sneak across with a van full of rubbish. We want to concentrate on the ward, so we'll give you a day or so's notice, and we will come round and leaflet the doors where we're actually working. But just to answer slightly with that, I think it was Mohammed about the enforcement. We used to have 3 levels of enforcement, so it was engage, educate, and enforce. We're engaging and enforcing now. We feel that the education bit's been done, so people should know what to do with their waste or what not to do. And if we are catching it, it's a no-nonsense attack. And I think as we move forward, what we will be doing is, when we attend your ward forums, we'll tell you what action has been taken. One last week, I believe it was, the week before, where a shop was using the containers to use their waste instead of the households over there for. We give them a warning. They did it the next week. So we're no nonsense now. We are going to tackle it.
Yes, thank you, Les. Can I call Mahbub in, please?
Thank you, Chair. I think the problem is somebody who's lived in this area for coming up to 50 years. I've seen lots of projects and initiatives, but the underlying problem never gets better. We don't get the same level of service as many other areas do. And the problem is, if you take for example, corner of Court Road and Edward Road, Councillor Malik lives just around the corner from it. There are fridges, there are piles of rubbish, and it's been there for ages. I know because I used to be part of Street Watch many years ago. And yeah, it's all good and well to have all these strategies and initiatives in place, but does it really work? Should we not make the shopkeepers responsible for it?
Yeah, my first responsibility, it would be that we're all responsible for our waste. These steps we're taking, and I must apologise. We have increased our fridge collection crews as well, so we have seen lots of fridges being dumped on the streets. Scrapman comes along, takes the motor out because it's got a monetary value. We've doubled our collection crews, so you will see a lot quicker turn around again, removed off the streets. We've just recruited literally to them posts, so they'll be starting very, very shortly. But what we want to do is we want everyone to come and get involved. You know, I don't think anybody would disagree that budgets, wherever you work these days, has been cut, and we need to work smarter, work cleverer. You know, and we rely on the eyes and ears of the people that live in the wards that want to come and tell us. You know, and it might be through this medium, it might be what you see that someone dumps that fridge or that settee out. We want to capture these people and to, you know, ask them to do it the right way in the first instance. But you know, we're absolutely committed to take an hard line because we want to improve Birmingham City streets.
Yeah, thanks for that, Les. Les, just to touch on what Mohammed said about the fridges being dumped and everything. And I think the last time I had a conversation with yourself was when the crews come round and if they see any dumping of any kind, they're supposed to log it down. Now, I totally agree with Mohammed. What he said was fridges are being out there for sometimes weeks. And, you know, if the crews are coming down and noticing that, I agree that they won't be the ones who are taking them. But if they are following the reporting line, then, you know, somebody should be surely coming down because, as Mohammed says, on Court Road, there's fridges outside and they've been there for more than a fortnight.
Yeah, so, you know, we do know that, Councillor, and the demand is beyond what we can actually do, and the waiting times are longer than what we'd like. That's why we've we've doubled the resource to actually pick them up, so that if we do get a reported fridge, we would like to be able to say we do within, you know, a reasonable time frame of 3 or 4 working days, so they're not out there for weeks or months on end, dare I say that. Lots of people now actually have paid for us to collect fridges, so you know, we've got a we, as in we, WB3 is waste electrical equipment. We can pick that up now, and we've got that facility to do that. So, you know, if somebody's got an old fridge, because lots of people don't know what to do with them, we can pick it up. But, you know, as I say, we've doubled the resource, so the waiting times and the reports of dumped fridges will significantly reduce shortly.
Okay. There's a message from Mohammed that we're paying 5% extra. We're paying 5% extra council tax, but the service appears to be reducing. Can I bring in Will now, please?
Just come back. Oops, just turn my, thanks. Oh, sorry about this. I'll get there. Hello, thank you, Councillor Malik. I just want to make a quick point. It's really interesting to hear from Les about the strategies that you're putting in place, but I'd like just to highlight to the meeting this evening is about Benmore Estate, which is at the edge of the ward. And we've got a problem with fly tipping. There's a couple of recycling centres outside each of the tower blocks. I live in one of those, and people are fly tipping there. What the fly tipping is, it tends to be like just black bags of rubbish, but it's very, very unsightly. What I need to just highlight to you, Les, is there seems to be a regularly missing the collections. I think it's a Monday, I think, on Benmore Estate. And this Monday, they should have been due because I checked, but the collection was missed. So we've got all these, you know, recycling centres, paper, plastic, etc., that are overflowing with rubbish, and it's not really, it's unsightly. And then people are using these, you know, these centres to fly tip as well. I think what I would propose, I mean, it's okay the council moving all this stuff, but I think that there needs to be a really, you know, I know it's going to be involve some resource, but you need to print letters and post it through everybody's letterbox, because that's the only way you're going to change things. You know, where we live, I mean, it's okay, you know, granted that, you know, you'll come and clear, but we need a letter saying, you know, we are, you know, the council is aware of fly tipping and it needs to stop. That's the only way forward I can, you know, propose.
Yeah, to be honest, Will, I wouldn't disagree for a second. What your suggestion, and I think the way we are moving, you know, there is a bit of a culture in Birmingham where people just put it out and the council will move it. So we've got to sort of change that culture, you know, and we're committed to do so. And if, you know, if someone wants to misuse the services or dump waste, etc., we are going to take an harder line at it. Benmore Estate, I think I'm right. I think that's collected by a different depot, but I will take that back to the depot and find out why you've been missed. But the perfect example there, we come along, move the black bags every week. We need to find out, they've got a collection service there, perhaps wheel bins or containers, why the extra sacks are coming out. You know, we need to tackle and deal with that. And I will promise you that everybody will get a letter. I think Mike did one yesterday. Did you, Mike, in Acots Green, or was it Monday, sorry? So, you know, we are more than happy to do that. I think Mike's got his hand up to respond as well.
Yeah, Mike. Hello, Mike. You want to come next?
You can hear me now, yeah? That's good. Okay. The reason why I put my hand up is we were engaged with the local residents where there's issues of dumping, where residents are dumping the waste. We work very, very closely with waste prevention and waste enforcement. So we don't have any issue with issuing letters to the local residents, informing them of their responsibility, the day of collection, and how to dispose of any large or bulky items. So if you can identify exactly where the dumping is, I'm more than happy to come out, conduct a site meeting, take back the information and make sure that letters are sent out to the local residents. And like Les has said, the Benmore estate is actually done by another depot. So I've made a note of that. So I'll be contacting the depot concerned about their refuse collection and recycling. So I can take that one back and action that.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Mike.
I can see Ahmed has put something up and Hannah is busily typing away. Ahmed says, changing the culture comes with enforcement. People won't change until they are punished. And if you're so concerned about the cuts create funds by fining people, enforcement in every aspect of Balsall Heath is lacking parking, speeding.
Yeah, I can't answer for the parking speeding, but you know, as I've said in my updates of my submission, you know, we're taking a much harder line now. The waste enforcement team has grown significantly, and it's you know, part of it to go to the shops that are not dealing with their waste properly, but they're assigning a number of or an amount of that workforce to us, so we can go out and be really proactive. Because as I've suggested, we need to change that culture. We hear what you know, what people are telling us, that you're not doing enough to stop it by fining people, etc. We want to take that step now to do so and change the culture.
Thanks for that. I was hoping the police will be coming so they can pick up on the enforcement issue. But if not, then in the next meeting, I'll get the enforcement department to come down. Hannah, I could see that you was writing something down, but it's not sort of showing on my laptop. Do you want to come in or?
Oh, I think Hannah's just dropped out of the meeting actually, so perhaps she's having a problem with her Wi-Fi. Mohammed's also got his hand up, Councillor Malik, and I think Kevin did have his hand up at one point, so I'm not sure whether he still wants to come in.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, Kevin, yeah, the reason I kept you last was because you're next as a speaker anyway. But if you want to come in regards to waste, you can, please.
No, it's just a super quick one from me. I'll do my introduction shortly, but with regards to this new scheme that Les and Michael have explained about, it would be really good to know the locations where you are over the course of each month or whatnot, and we can get our services involved at the same time as well, which would be really helpful for all of us, I think.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I think what the plan is, Kevin, it's the Love Your Streets initiative will bring every resource together. So when they do an open down, and this is where we're looking, you know, we from all acorns, oak trees grows type of thing. We will have enforcement, we'll have the police, we'll have the fire, we'll have perhaps we're looking at private landlords who might have properties in the area. We're going to bring everybody together as a multi-agency approach. So, you know, to show we mean business in the sense of the terms, but to also get there and show, look, we are here, use us, and to share the advice and the good news, etc. What we can do. So, Kevin, yeah, you will be contacted. You've put your name in my hat now. So, if we can, yes, more than definitely, because the more people we can get to, the better.
Absolutely.
You know, and if we're working with highways, we were considering roads. I wouldn't use Cheddar Court Road as an example. It's parked bumper to bumper both sides. We can't really get into clean it properly. Highways can't get into do the drains or care. We want to do a joined up approach where we all come out and we do that. We do a good sweep, we empty the drains, and we help people to recycle if they need to, and we take away the dumping. And people feel the street's clean, they live there, and we hope that people start to take a bit more pride in it, dare we say.
Thank you. I just, before we lose, I think Hannah's having problems. But Hannah, if you joined it, do you want to come in? Hannah, can you hear me?
Mohammed's got his hand up as well. Councillor Malik, while we're waiting for Hannah.
Okay, Mohammed, go on. Sorry, I can't see that. But
no, hi. No, it's just building on what you said, Leslie, about all these new initiatives. Like, I appreciate all these new initiatives coming through. We'll be cleaning the streets. Everybody was supposedly in the ideal situation. Everyone's going to have more pride in their area. But at the moment, we're clearly not seeing this. So maybe all these extra resources that are going through to cleaning the streets that are only going to get dirty the day after, could we possibly be looking at more enforcement, more stricter enforcement? I appreciate as well, Will said something about letter posting, but a lot of the people living in Cheddar Road, Court Road in this area, not a lot of them speak English. So in terms of letters coming through, they're probably just going to disappear with the rest of the junk. So in terms of enforcement, what other things can you do in terms of enforcement other than putting letters through the through the letterboxes?
Yeah, the enforcement side of it, Mohammed, is it's not to drop letters. The enforcement side is to deal with the issues. So if using Cheddar Road as an example, we used to have an enormous pile dropped out on the bays where they stick out in between the parking slots.
Yeah.
We need to go there and see what's happening, who's dumping it, what's doing it, and enforcement are committed. So we'll give people enough warnings. Let's get them fined. Now with the letters, that's waste prevention. Now waste prevention also can do lots of stuff to cover some of the language barriers. They can do Urdu, they can do Chinese, etc., etc. And we're looking at a digital means as well now. So you can actually sign into something which will talk to you in your language if you're not English language speaking as a first language. We're looking at lots and lots of different things. So I'm very excited about it. And I've worked for waste management street scene now for 34 years, dare I say it. So I do know the problems and I do know where we fell over and I do know the pitfalls, but I'm excited that this is a move in the right direction, and just give us a bit of time and you'll see that it'll work for you.
No, 100%. I agree with what you're saying about all these new initiatives. 100%. Like, I'm not arguing in that aspect. The aspect I'm trying to be is thinking or bringing forward is, shouldn't we be more proactive? Because at the moment now, all the new initiatives are all reactive. So in terms of proactive, I know we talked about enforcement before, but again, I really want to put a massive, kind of flag over enforcement. Because I live on Cheddar Road. Like, I'm not shy to thingy. I have pride in my street. However, I can't say the same for everybody else living on the street or in the area. But those curbs that you're talking about, that is a regular dumping spot, the end of the road where it's just a one-way system, right? That joins with Court Road. That's another fly tipping. We have one sign, but I've never seen any enforcement come down or any teams come down looking through rubbish. Or I've always seen it. It'll be there. They'll get cleared. And then as soon as it's cleared, we'll get the same issue over again. So I'm thinking all the money that we're putting in now to all these things, it'll be lovely for the couple of hours that it's clean. But then that same evening, it's going to be, people are going to dump their stuff there again.
Yeah, I completely understand, and I completely, I won't say I agree with your concerns, but what I'm trying to say, or what I'm asking people is, look, we want to do the best we can do. It's not a 2-hour polish up, disappear, you don't see us. Waste enforcement, they've got a lot more powers now. They're definitely committed to do more. For the worst spots, dare I say, they're going to be putting cameras up, and they're going to be catching people and taking the appropriate action. There's so much going on that I can't tell you all in one meeting, But what I want to do, you know, I want to come to your next meeting, councillor, and speak to your residents, tenants, etc., and say, look, this is what's been good. Just try to start to see people that we are doing stuff now, and it's proactive and it's active, and get people involved, because once they see that, people will tend then to get more active with us, not be, well, the council don't do anything, because we want to break that barrier or that bridge and get everybody involved, because it is love your street, isn't it? We have to live there, dare I say it. And I'm a Birmingham resident at the same. I have to live there and I do my bit. But the more we can do together, the better. So I completely hear what you're saying, Mohammed, and I think actions are going to speak louder than words. And maybe, you know, in a future meeting, you'll say it's working. That's my hope that you do.
Thanks for that.
Thank you very
What
much.
I'll do in the next meeting, I'll invite the enforcement team down, which they can cover the parking aspect of it, and you know, all enforcement issues. Okay, thank you for the speakers, and Mike and Les, thank you very much. And I want to move on to now Kevin Gibbons from Kier. Kevin.
Evening, everybody. How you doing? My name's Kevin Gibbon. I work for Kier Highways, formerly Amy, dare I say it. But we're now the service provider for the highways maintenance contract within Birmingham. Couple of things. We'll start off from me with the bad news first and foremost. Drop curbs. We seem to have a bit of an epidemic in Birmingham at the moment, where we've got several cowboy contractors going round asking people if they want their curbs dropped outside the house so they can access their drive. Sorry. The only legal way to have this done is through Birmingham Council's drop curb process. If people have a dropped curb done by a cowboy builder, we will remove the curbs and we will charge the householder for having that removed and putting the footpath back to how it needs to be put. There is certain reasons why it has to go through the council. The frontage size, we can't have vehicles overhanging the property, overhanging onto the footway, and so on and so forth. So please, if you are approached or you get a leaflet through your door, please do not take up the offer of a really cheap drop curb, because it will cost far more in the long run if that happens. Couple of other things from me. Cannon Hill Road, Jakeman Road. I'm aware, I've been working with Councillor Malik a lot on these roads, and we are aware the road surface is particularly poor in places, and we will get those sorted as soon as possible. We've got a quite strict criteria that we have to work to before we can do the repairs, but I am trying to get those roads added to resurfacing programs to get those roads resurfaced. Edward Road. There's a large chunk of Edward Road in the middle where there is a different coloured, effectively block-looking area. I'm currently trying to get that switched out to just tarmac, so it's a bit more sightly, less bumpy, and just better in general. The other one from me is the planters on the corner of Edward Road and Cannon Hill Road that do seem to attract rather a lot of, leading on from what Les and Michael were saying, that do attract a large amount of dumping and things, are going to be removed this weekend. And once they're gone, hopefully it will open it all up a bit, and we will sort of hopefully limit the amount of dumping that occurs around those planters. For me, I'd prefer everybody to tell me what your problems are. Let me know where the issues are, and I can get my team to look into that for you. Open to questions.
Thanks for that, Kevin. Anybody wishing to ask Kevin questions? Mohammed?
Sorry, I dropped out for the introduction, but I think you're with highways, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
would you be responsible for surfacing the roads?
Yes.
On Edward Road, Councillor, you're probably aware of this. I'm not sure if you want to give him specific. You know, opposite the supermarket, where there's like this massive pothole opposite the giveaway junction.
Yeah,
For the,
I've reported it. I did mention it to Kevin the other day.
Okay, it's just that whole road, to be honest, it just probably needs, I don't know, again, it's not my expertise, but it's ridiculous, that whole road. It's always it's just not even. There's massive potholes. It's just, I thought maybe if it is your area.
Mohammed, I think you dropped out. Kevin did cover, the bit by outside where the chippy is and Canyon Road.
Yes.
Where the different coloured road is. Kevin did, touch on that. It's in the process of rectifying.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I've got
out. I apologise.
I've put in place what we call a change of material request for that section. So as it stands at the moment, you've got a tarmac base there. Then over the top of it has been put. It's effectively concrete over the top, which has been stamped to make it look like bricks. So I've requested that be removed and it just be tarmac like the rest of the road. It won't be as pretty as it was when it was first constructed, but it also won't break up as quick. So it will last a lot longer, and it'll take away all those potholes as well.
Oh, excellent, thank you.
Abu?
Just a quick question, Kevin. Do you have any kind of involvement in speeding measures on Balsall Heath Road? Because we have a lot of people driving very, very fast. It's only a matter of time before they knock somebody down.
No, unfortunately not. I've been speaking to Councillor about a couple of issues. There was another one as well, wasn't there? There was a junction that we were talking about trying to get some temporary lights installed there. With regards to the scope of our contract, we are there to maintain the existing material. So we can't install speed humps, for instance. We can't remove stuff. We can only maintain. So if something's broken, we fix it. Unfortunately, installation of speeding measures and things would need to come from the council's district engineers.
Okay.
Anybody else want to ask Kevin anything? Will?
Thanks, Councillor Malik. I know you said you just do the maintenance, Kevin, but I wanted to. I don't know if there's any updates. It's quite important to me. The planned works for the pedestrian crossings is going to be at Priory Road and Edgbaston Road. That junction and Pershall Road.
I do know the junction. I'm not aware of any works, but it doesn't mean they're not going to happen if there are something planned. But what's the concern?
Well, no, just when it's going to happen, because I know it's been delayed. I think it's supposed to be last year, but with the pandemic, it's just been delayed and delayed and delayed. So, if even councillor, I don't know if you know, if anybody knows, because it's quite a very busy junction, and I have to cross that and dice with traffic and stuff. I just wondered if anyone knew any updates on when
What's the junction, Will?
So it's Pershall Road, Edgbaston Road, and Priory Road. I think Pershall Road, Edgbaston Road, and Priory Road. I think, yeah.
It's outside the cricket ground, basically.
That's it.
Right. Okay, leave it with me. I'll try and find some information out on that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that, Will. Anybody else that want to ask Kevin anything? No.
Okay. If there are anything that anybody's got, if by all means report it through to BCC's website. That will filter through to me, or I work quite closely with Councillor Malik on numerous different issues, so please report it to Councillor and he'll let me know as well.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody want to ask Kevin anything else before he gets away?
I'm staying till the end, so you
that's all right.
For a bit.
Okay, it seems that the police have not turned up, so that means that it leads me to my report. I'm going to do, I've got some bullet points down. I mean, in future meetings, if we have face-to-face meetings, I'll do a written report for everybody. But on this occasion, I'm going to go through, I've got about 13 or 14 points. And then if anybody wishes to ask any questions after that, please feel free to do so, yeah? First, people will notice that accidents on the junction of Edward Road, Lincoln Street and Adam Street they seem to have increased. I mean, today there was another accident, but it was opposite Jakeman Road, where a car, God knows where it came from, it went straight into the bollards, opposite the old Cannon Hill pub. But I've had a petition which I forwarded on, and basically we had a cyclist run over on Saturday, and the last I heard was he was in intensive care. So what I have asked the local engineers to do is put some traffic lights there, temporary traffic lights, as a measure to see if that will make any difference or not. So the local engineer is on leave until Monday. He's coming back, and I've got a meeting arranged with him. Also, Willows Road had a trial of no restrictions on cricket match days. In general, the response has been that residents were happy not having to move their vehicles from 6 o'clock in the morning to 11 p.m. I'm awaiting a meeting with the officers, which is next week. I've received positive suggestions that a lot of people were happy, but then some people have turned around and put suggestions forward, which I will discuss with them, and that is rerouting the number 35 for that day, because events in Cannon Park and the cricket ground, residents are affected a lot. Alexandra Road, barriers have been installed at the car park entrance at Lynchings Green, and also a barrier and bollards are being installed at the bottom end of Alexandra Road. And also, I've had it confirmed that there was a missing gate will be reinstalled again. That's on Alexandra Road, I think, by number 28. Kevin's already covered the bit about the planters, that they'll be removed on the corner of Cannon Road and Edward Road. That'll be removed over the weekend. That's great news. We've been having problems on Court Road where the listed basically toilets are. Unfortunately, they're being used for antisocial behaviour. There's been loads of issues been there. So I have met the officers, and they've agreed to block them off. They can't remove because they're protected, but they've agreed that the access will be blocked, because they've done that in the jury quarters. Also, I've had representations for the phone boxes on Cannon Road and Edward Road to be removed, because again, for antisocial issues. I'm awaiting a response from BP. Fly tipping is being covered. It's a big issue everywhere and should be reported to Fix My Street. They supply you with a reference number, and it is not resolved, then please contact me with a reference number and I'll pursue it. And I wish to thank all the residents who have taken it onto themselves to litter pick outside the areas. My thanks to all, especially the Cannon Hill litter pickers and a similar group in the Alexandra estate. I'm sure everyone is doing their bit, so thank you all. The other two bits, we have a big problem with individuals dealing with drugs. Incidents can be reported anonymously on 101 to the police. I did invite the police to come today, but unfortunately they haven't, so I'll be taking that up. The other problem I'm having is HMOs has become a big problem, and it is being addressed. It's just not in Balsall Heath, but everywhere in Birmingham, HMOs are popping up everywhere, especially people coming out of jail and all of that. But I mean, I don't think they're vetting them properly or whatever. But under the banner of supported accommodation, there's a lot of things that are happening, but the council are dealing with it. And I am aware we have virtually no services in our ward for youngsters. I am trying to address this. I am aware of an organisation called Bright Futures who are doing a wonderful job. If there are any other local sports deliverers, then please contact me and I'll see if I can help or point you to someone. Hopefully, all future meetings will be face-to-face and I will be in a position to hold my word surgeries from September. That's my report. If anybody wishes to ask me, Mohammed, I see your hand up.
Yeah, it's just have the police given any excuse why they haven't turned up?
Mohammed, just before you joined, I actually phoned up the local sergeant, but unfortunately, he keeps on going to answer machine. So I'll be raising it with the inspector on tomorrow to see what was the reason, because he did accept the invite to come down. And the last time I did have a conversation with him was on Monday, and he did say that he was going to come. So hope everything's okay. But I will try and find out of the non-attendance.
I'm not sure about anyone else in the group, but there was a lot of questions we had to raise with regards to the police presence and police kind of resourcing in the area. Because my very big concern is, like we said, drug issues, speeding enforcement, parking enforcement, in terms of parking on zigzags, which I saw Ahmed mentioned in the chat earlier as well. Opposite Big Saj, absolutely anybody can park wherever, whenever they want. I know I've spoken to you about this earlier, and you've told me that the police do turn up, but you told me they turn up at 10 a.m. To do a walk down towards Calthorpe Park. I'm not sure what they're looking for at 10 a.m. other than the pigeons, but there is nothing happening at 10 a.m. in Calthorpe Park.
No,
the biggest
Mohammed,
issue we have. No,
Mohammed,
Councillor, this is not towards you. This is just towards the police, because we
no,
don't get a response off them. When we we've made the effort to come to this meeting. I've taken time out of my day to come to this meeting, and they haven't given any excuse. I appreciate the resources are tight, but they could have at least sent someone else. They could have had an inspector come in. They could have even had another officer just to take notes and feed back any information or anything that we've had. We've had a change in police sergeant in the area that nobody was aware of. I live in the area, I walk around the area, and I rarely see any police presence, whether it be PCSO or police officers at all.
no,
And
Mohammed,
I just sorry, yeah.
No, thank you very much for that. Mohammed, that was one of the reasons why I invited them to come to the meeting, because they hear from me all the time, but I wanted them to hear firsthand from the residents. But unfortunately, they, as I said, whether it's a problem or whatever, but I'll get to the bottom of it. I'll get in touch with the inspector tomorrow and find out. But in the meantime, can I just suggest, please drop me an email with all the issues or whatever, and I'll forward them on and ask for an explanation or an answer to your questions.
Oh, it's just I agree. I'll happily send the email, but it's just very disheartening turning up to the meeting when they should be in this meeting also. They should be here to answer questions and concerns that we have. But
No,
they've just essentially, we feel fobbed off. I think it's just in general, general energy that we have of the police. Because when I used to work up in Moseley and other nicer areas, people used to come to these same meetings, which I used to attend as well, and the sergeant used to send out 3 or 4 officers to patrol for people who are double parked, so people parking on double yellow lines. We have legitimate, more serious issues. We don't even have an officer that can turn up to our monthly meeting just to answer some basic questions. So I think, Councillor, if you could just emphasise the seriousness.
Mohammed, I'll take your point on board. And as I promised, I will. I mean, at the start of the meeting, you weren't here. I mean, I phoned at 6:33 to the sergeant to ask him.
It went straight to voicemail.
It went to voicemail, so, you know, there's nothing else I can add other than I will take it up with the inspector tomorrow.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's just really not good enough on their behalf.
No, I agree.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
There's a couple of comments in the chat, Councillor Malik. I think somebody's already raised cars parking on the zigzag for the zebra crossing in front of Big Sarge.
Yes, I've noticed that as well, and I have raised it with the police. But one thing I am going to check up on, because one of the conversations I had with the police was that they said, "Oh, we can't ticket somebody parked on double yellow lines." So I'm going to check that if that is a fact or not. Because one thing I do know is if it's causing an obstruction, then the police can get involved. And I am aware, as Mohammed has quite rightly said, I live on Edward Road, that people park on the corners of Court Road, double yellow lines, and it's a mayhem. So I will be taking all that on board.
Sorry, Councillor, sorry, just to wait 1 second, I apologise, but with regards to what you said about obstruction, I'm recently retired police officer. Yes, we are not allowed, before, as I was told, as of a month ago, we weren't allowed to ticket double yellow lines unless they were causing an obstruction. A zigzag is an obvious obstruction. It's a very dangerous obstruction.
Yes.
The double yellows throughout the whole of Edward Road is an obstruction as well. So there is no excuse for them.
No.
So,
Mohammed, I totally agree with you. I don't want, I mean, they might have a legitimate reason for not turning up, but I want to give them a chance. So, like I said, I'm going to raise it with the inspector. Anybody wishing to raise any other issues in regards to these, please drop me an email and I will put it forward. Ahmed, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I just want to echo what he's actually my brother Mohammed, what he was saying about the police. You were mentioning about calling the police and reporting things, but obviously in the area we've completely lost confidence in the police because they can't even turn up to a meeting. That's number one. Number two, about the Edward Road and Hallam Street junction. Obviously there's been petitions going around for years. So why has it taken so long for the council to propose a change and installing those temporary traffic lights? Why is it taken for multiple accidents on top of what happened before with the accidents for them to take action? That's number two. And number three, about the zigzags. Can I just ask, when did you contact the police about the zigzags in front of Big Sag?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Monday.
Oh, just this week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. Because I was just going to say, I haven't seen any police presence at all. I mean, me, myself, I'm not going to lie. I nearly ran over a young girl last week because I couldn't see her coming from behind a car that was parked on the zigzag. I simply couldn't see her.
I mean, like I said to you, I am going to pursue this, and I am upset as well that, they haven't turned up to this meeting, because this was the residents' chance to actually let the police know what was happening and what wasn't happening. So I will take it on board. The other thing about the traffic light issue, in regards to the delay, there hasn't been a delay. I don't know how long you've been in the area, but before me, there used to be a roundabout there. They used to put a hump there, then they raised the platform. And now what I've done is I've asked for the temporary traffic lights to go in. So hopefully, if that's a success, we'll make them permanent. I was there last night to have a look, because one of the things I was quoted was that putting lights up is an expensive business. But I've looked at the junction, and there are giveaway signs, the ones that are lit up. So the issue of new wiring or anything, it won't be an issue because everything is there. We just moving the traffic light, from the pedestrian onto the corners. So I have, and the other issue is unknown to me, was that they've got a criteria that once it reaches X amount of accidents, then they act. Now, I've been quoted, the number is 9, but I can tell you now, I spoke to somebody on Friday and the number has reached to 13. That's excluding the 3 accidents that have happened since. So that's 16. So I'm waiting for a response on Monday to see where we can take it from there, because I have turned around to him and said to him, I want temporary lights put in, because the last thing we want now is somebody basically dying because of the non-adherence. So I will keep you updated. Just to let you know, I've actually created a Facebook page which says Councillor Malik. So I will be updating that as well with anything that I know or find out. But please, as I said before, pick your phone up, leave a message for me if I don't answer, or email me, and I promise you I'll get back to you and I'll deal with the issues. Right.
Kevin's got his hand up, Councillor Malik.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah,
Kevin,
Kevin, and then and Mohammed as well afterwards.
Okay.
No, yeah, Just a couple of things. Just to reinforce what Councillor Malik said about the traffic light junction, there is a lot of criteria that has to be fulfilled for changes to the network effectively. Accidents is one of them, and also to accompany that, it's the severity of the accidents as well. And obviously we are seeing an influx of quite severe accidents at that junction, so hopefully that will throw weight behind the campaign to get those traffic lights installed. And Councillor, just on the subject of the zigzags, it may be worth speaking to somebody in parking enforcement to see if we can get that area added to the mobile patrols for the parking enforcers.
Well, to be honest with you, I've asked them to come, and what I have noticed, they come first thing in the morning about 7:30, and I have personally seen them about 11:30, but I've actually asked them to come down between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, because that seems to be the problematic time. I know that is a fact, because as I said before, I only live down the road, so I can basically open the front door and I can see it. So it's a matter of trying to get them down at that particular time.
I'll chuck a bit of my weight behind it as well and see if I can get that added to their route for that sort of time. Just to try and help that situation down there as well.
No, thank you. Thanks for that, Kevin. Mohammed?
No
Hi. No, the bit about the zigzag, like you said, you've made the effort to speak to the council, but then they've sent people at the wrong time. I think it's the same thing with the police, the same thing with everyone else does. They come when nothing is there. With regards to the temporary traffic lights, the incident that you spoke about with the collision with the bike a couple of days ago, that was my youngest brother. That's why it's a very personal topic. I've spent the last 3-4 days in hospital watching him suffer, because the council, and he's not the first person, and I promise you he's not going to be the last person to have to deal with this. He's survived, thank God he's survived at the moment. Everything is fine, but it was an absolute miracle that he did. And the council are saying it's too expensive. They can't, so they've wasted money on, and before, yes, there was a roundabout, they've wasted money on giveaway signs and humps, even though we've been asking, before your time, we've been asking for traffic lights there, and there have been several petitions going around with a couple of hundred petitions signed with regards to the traffic light, but again, nothing has happened. So I don't understand how severe something has to be before the council take notice. At the moment, it does seem like the council are putting their pockets, their importance on the pocket than the life at the moment, because there is no excuse. There is nothing ever more expensive or nothing ever equates or cost equivalent to any life. So I appreciate it was my brother this time, but it could be someone else's brother. It could be yours. It could be a sister. It could be a child. It could be anybody else's. So when is enough? When do we say enough is enough? When can we get the council held accountable for this?
Can I just say, I'm on it now, and as an email from the engineer's boss on Tuesday, saying that not Tuesday, Monday, saying that the engineer is on leave, and I've asked for a meeting on site with the engineer to come down, and trust me, I'm not going to let this go. And I'm really happy to hear that your brother's fine, because yesterday I did go, because the address I was given was Jakeman Road. I did go and knock on the door, but there was no answer.
That was my sister's address.
Yeah, she was the one who actually wrote me an email, so I actually went down. I think it was about 7:15, 7:20, but unfortunately nobody answered the door. But I'm grateful for your update, and I wish him a quick recovery.
But if the council need to turn up, I can take him to his ward, and they can sit in front of him, explain to him why this happened.
We understand that. I've got the video of the accident as well, so I'm just waiting for the engineer to come down on Monday, and I'm not going to let this go. So you could take my word for it that I will not let this go. I do want traffic lights there, and whatever excuses they come up with, I'll come back to them with.
Thank you.
Councillor, sorry, did you say you've got a meeting with Gary on Monday?
I've actually written to his boss, which is Alan Porter.
Yeah.
And he's basically turned around to me and said Gary's on leave and he's due back on Monday. So I'm pushing for a meeting on Monday.
Okay,
So,
if that meeting gets arranged, can you forward me the invite and I'll come down and throw a bit of weight behind it as well?
no
Because
problem.
it's
I'll
not
do that.
like quite rightly, like Mohammed said, there is no price on a life, and it's not.
No, definitely
fair.
not. I mean, I don't want to be the in a position where that people turn around to me and says, "Oh, you've done nothing." I can assure you, I'm doing everything in my power to do it. So I'm waiting for Monday when the guy comes back from leave, and I'll demand a meeting, and I'll keep you in the loop, Kevin.
Yeah, perfect. I'll join you and I'll support you on that as well.
Thank you very much for that. All right. Anybody else? Okay, the silence. Can I just thank everybody for making an effort to come today? In the past, we've had meetings with Sparkbrook, Balsall Heath East and Balsall Heath West, all in one. But what I've decided now, after today's meeting as well, that in future, we're just going to have a Balsall Heath West Ward meeting, because I don't want people from Balsall Heath West area sitting down listening to issues in Sparkbrook and vice versa. So I think it's better that we have our own meeting. And I will, if we haven't got any contact details of people or whatever, can you please either drop me an email with your details, i.e. your email addresses, or Kay Thomas with your details. And when we have the next meeting, Kay will automatically send you an invite. Are we okay with that? Hello?
Yes, that's fine.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm just putting my email address into the chat so people have got it if they haven't already.
Sorry, Kay, I was on your mailing list.
Yeah.
But I think because the last invite that I had was of Councillor Malik via WhatsApp. I didn't have the same invitation. I usually get one off you every so often. Is it all right if I contact you on the side?
Yes.
Just so you get that back?
Yes, please do. As I've just put my email address into the chat, so if anybody hasn't already got it, but if you've got it, just drop me an email with your email address on, and I'll make sure it's on the mailing list.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And if people aren't aware, because I did WhatsApp about 40 people, to be honest with you, and I know it was advertised in the Balsall Heath neighbourhood paper that one of the people runs. So I hopefully in September we'll start having the surgeries, as we call them. But that doesn't mean to say that you can't phone me and leave a message or email me. Please do so, because if you don't let me know, I'm not going to know. And I want to thank everybody for attending today. And again, I want to repeat that I will be getting in touch with the inspector tomorrow to find out why the non-attendance was of the police. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Malik. I don't think there's any more questions. Nobody else has got their hand up, and there's nothing else in the chat. So I think.
Thank you again. Thank you very much for attending, and we'll let you know when the next meeting is. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you, Councillor Malik. Thank you.
Bye.
Great
Bye.
meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Bye.